Hey, it's Friday Finds. Stay tuned and see all the new bottles we picked up. Hey, welcome back to Barrels and Bark. I'm Zach. Thank you so much for checking us out. Whether it's your first time, second time, or you're a regular, we appreciate you joining us. Please like, subscribe, follow our page. We would love for you to continue to support and help us grow our channel. So today's episode is all about Friday Finds. We've been collecting a few different new bottles over the last few weeks, and I want to share with you a couple new ones. But here you go. Here's our Friday Finds. So our first bottle that we found here a couple weeks ago is High West Double Rye. Again, maybe not a new one for you. It's a new one for me. If you're not familiar with High West, they just kind of went with a new rebrand, new logo, kind of updated it a little bit, a little different look on the bottle. I think it's fairly similar glass bottle from what I've heard, but a little bit different with some embossing on it. It's a really cool bottle. You'll notice a lot of air pockets in it. It's a pretty sweet looking bottle, as far as my opinion. Now, Double Rye comes from, again, if you're not familiar with High West Distillery out in Park City, Utah. Just looking at my list here, it's a blend of column and pot still whiskeys, and they say it's been aged a minimum of 2 years. Now, I think I picked this up for $40 or $45, and if you're familiar with my recent videos, one of my New Year's resolutions in whiskey is to explore more into the rye world. And this is one that I've looked at many times and been intrigued and thought, hey, I'd pull the trigger on this. So if you've had High West, I've had a few of their other products before. I can honestly tell you, I was not a huge fan of it. And so I'm probably a little leery on this one, but excited to jump in and try the High West Double Rye. So continuing on with my resolution this year, kind of new whiskeys to explore and kind of dive into. The second one is Irish whiskeys. I have a couple different Irish whiskeys that I personally own. I own a Redbreast 12 and I have a Writer's Tears. Both I really enjoy. Obviously, two different spectrums of quality. The Writer's Tears is more of an entry level, a lot lighter, but I love the Redbreast. So I pulled the trigger and decided to buy the Redbreast Cask Strength Irish whiskey. Now, again, I usually typically like any type of cask strength, higher proof ones. And I really do enjoy the regular Redbreast 12. And so I'm excited to jump in and try here the cask strength one. Again, if you're not familiar with it, you've probably heard of Redbreast before, if you've had it before. But it's, from what I read about it, is made from mash of malted and unmalted barley. And it's been triple distilled in their copper pot stills. So should be really smooth. Again, smooth. It should be a great flavor. Like I said, what I've heard from others who have had this, the flavors are just amped up more and a lot more developed caramels and shortbread and buttery flavors. So I'm pumped for that one. I paid $105 for that. So a little steeper, but excited to jump into that. Number 3, my third bottle. Now, this is one that I think some of you may have a strong opinion for. And I have, over the last year, started to kind of explore more into the Dickel products. Now, if you've had George Dickel, I know many people have the strong opinion against Dickel because of the Flintstone vitamin minerally flavor, and sometimes I get that, but a lot of other ones that I've had, I have 2 or 3 other bottles. The 9-year, I have the Sour Mash. I don't get that as much, and I've started to kind of really enjoy. And so our store here in town had a store pick of the Dickel 15 single barrel, and I decided, you know what, I've enjoyed their other store picks they've picked out of this one, and so I decided to pull the trigger on this. Again, Dickel 15-year single barrel, again, Cascade Hollow Distilling Company. They say it's 84% corn, 8% rye, 8% malted barley. I paid $65, I think, for this, and so I haven't even opened the top on this one yet, and excited to explore that one this year. Number 4. Now, I'm going to do a more in-depth review on this one coming up here. I have cracked it open, so it isn't super new, but it is Stellum Bourbon. Now, Stellum Bourbon, again, it's a new company, but they're actually under the umbrella of the Barrel Craft Spirits, which we all love. If you've ever been on a lot of the YouTube channels, you'll notice that they're fairly enjoyed by most people. The Vantage, the Dovetail, the Seagrass. I love a lot of their products that they create. And so Stellum is kind of, I would consider, their more entry level of their bourbons. Typically, Barrel Craft Spirits, their bourbon barrels are usually coming in at $80 to $100, and so this one comes in at $65. They have a bourbon and they have a rye, and then I know this came out in 2021, but I know they also came out with a black label, which I have not tried, but I really enjoy this. Again, it's sourced Tennessee, Indiana, and Kentucky whiskey, 114 proof. I won't give you my opinions on it because I've just had a couple sips out of it. Stay tuned for a video in the future for that. Number 5, my last bottle here to share on Friday Finds is one that I have never tried before. I know they have a few different bottles out there, but it's Breckenridge 105 High Proof Bourbon. Now, Breckenridge obviously is out of Colorado, Breckenridge Distillery. They were well known for a long time, what I've heard, as a place that sourced a lot of their whiskey. And again, their claim is they use the Colorado mountain springs to kind of proof it down and add some of the dilution into it. But I think over the last few years, from what I've read and heard, they've now transitioned over to their own distillate now and creating their own stuff, which I guess has changed a bit from their older stuff. And so this is their 105, considered their high proof. And I think I paid $55 for it. We'll see what it tastes like. I'm excited to explore more of that bottle. What Breckenridge has, I think, 4 or 5 different bottles out there, and I'm excited to try the high proof. I've heard from a few other people who have had their stuff that the high proof is the one to go to and the one that they enjoy the most. So there you have it. Those are our Friday finds. Comment down below if you've had one of these bottles. Give us your thoughts on it. Maybe there's another one out there that we should get next time. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Hopefully you enjoy your weekend. Have a great week, and we'll see you again. And I have a couple different Irish whiskey